Next up in NBA news, Jimmy Butler. So this was added kind of within the last couple of hours, where Shams came out and said the Miami Heat are suspending Jimmy Butler indefinitely. He walked out of Heat shoot around this morning after being informed by the team that he is no longer starting and they will start Haywood Highsmith moving forward. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say indefinitely is until February 6th, which is the NBA trade deadline. So another chapter in the chronicles of Jimmy Butler. Of course, we kind of been talking about it for the past 2 weeks. I don't have nothing new to say per se. I guess the new thing I can say is who wants to trade for this right now, aside from Phoenix? If they haven't done it already, what the hell are we waiting on?
Value. The right value for, I guess, a return of investment for Miami. But also, like, the same what it is, what team is really ready to pay him $52 million next season?
Nobody.
Right.
Let me ask you this, Shady. What in your head, what do you think Pat Riley thinks the value is for Jimmy Butler?
Pat Riley don't give a fuck.
But if he don't give a fuck, why hasn't he traded him yet?
Good point.
Because
nobody wants him.
I disagree with that. I can't roll with that one, Savage.
To me, I think it's a chess match.
Okay.
With Pat and Jimmy, and Jimmy was trying to see how far he can get with Pat, and Pat's like, okay, well, you're gonna force my hand, unfortunately. I honestly think there's only one person, one team that can actually take this on and be something. But give me a second to get there.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler is driving down his value, and because he's driving down his value, who really wants to play? Who really wants to pay him and get him at this point is really what it looks like. You're being told you're coming off the bench. Well, okay, it is what it is. There are other players that have been notable players that have come off the bench and done well with those. Nothing recently. But it's like the culture of what he brings. Is it worth it to pay a man $52 million next season, guarantee him $52 million next season, and he's looking for an extension past that? So he's looking for something around $50 million at least per season at the age of 37, 38, and 39. Talking about someone without a ring, does have great playoff experience, but has no regular season, lacks regular season experience, I would say. And so that's what the problem is, man. And I think Pat Riley at the end of the day is just going to stiff him and send him somewhere he doesn't want to go. Mm-hmm. I know that Chicago has come forth and has been a suitor in this deal, but this with Phoenix and us, but sending Bradley Beal actually to Chicago. Mm-hmm. Now, unless we get Zach LaVine back, don't talk to me. And I actually don't even really want Zach LaVine, honestly. But I'd rather have Zach LaVine than someone that's ready to score and shoot no matter what, compared to a Jimmy Butler who's just going to stand in the corner. He's really shot himself in the foot, to be honest. And I don't know who's going to be willing to take this on moving forward. The only hypothetical scenario that I've come up with besides this dumb Suns trade is realistically, is the Knicks. The reason why I say that is Tom Thibodeau, I think, may be the only coach that can be with Jimmy to get the most out of Jimmy and keep him playing as a player and have him happy. Because you ain't coming off the bench if you Jimmy Butler going to Tom Thibodeau. Now, of course, that would be an exchange of OG and some players, whatever. But honestly, at this point, I don't really see a team or coach or franchise that's wanting to do this, because no one has really spit in the face of the Heat the way that Jimmy has.
Yeah.
And so what does that look like for you, Jimmy? So I rest my case about it. You coming off the bench, Jimmy, you coming off the bench. It is what it is. To walk off is just like, you don't give a fuck.
Crazy, man.
So you're going to walk off on Spoelstra. You're going to walk off on your teammates. Like that's the message. Like, because we said, hey, you're coming off the bench. Now all of a sudden you done walked off on everybody. So now it's not that same shit that you're talking about. Like, you here for the players and it's not the players, or all that other stuff. That's dead now. Because now it's now on the players and you're making it a thing. So I'm over with Jimmy. Thank you. I think another question would be like if we retire his jersey, to be honest. But
that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
I've seen crazier things.
We don't know if he'll retire number 6.
Yeah, we need to retire him. We retire Michael Jordan's jersey though, so don't trip. We crazy like that. I hope that answers your question too. I don't know if
yeah. Definitely.
So, too, you said you didn't rock with what I said. Why not?
I mean, my thing is, bro, and I know for a fact that I'm on the opposite end. I'm rocking with Jimmy Butler to play on this one for the simple fact that we literally seen this man carry no-namers into the NBA Finals. So if I've done that multiple times, not just one time, but a couple, I think it's 3 times since the bubble, I got a right to kind of feel the way I gotta feel. Now, regardless, if you're trying to get $50 million a season afterwards, that's on his agent, which I don't think Jimmy's worth $50 million in the next few years. It's turning 37, 38, 39. However, you're not paying Jimmy Butler to perform in the regular season. You're paying him to take your no-namers to the NBA Finals, in which he's done. And when he said last year when they got kicked out the playoffs because Jimmy wasn't playing, when Jimmy was like, if the Knicks wouldn't be here, Celtics wouldn't be here. I mean, you got a guy who's literally beat all of these teams. I'm not gonna say himself because it's selfish, but at the same time, who beat all the team by himself. So if Pat Riley to come out and say, Jimmy, shut up, I got a problem with that. And I think that's where I think that's honestly where it all started. Oh, you don't respect what I've been able to do since LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to do and get the hell on up out of here if I'm not going to get the respect that I know for sure. And all 3 of us in this podcast have said he's damn sure deserved. Fuck the regular season. Excuse my language. After the regular season, this man performs in the playoffs. And if he comes to the Suns, they're going to be almost an immediate favorite for me. If he goes to the Grizzlies, they're instant favorites for me. If he goes to a playoff team, they're going to be instant favorites because of what he's been able to do against the competition that we've seen him do it against. So I'm Team Jimmy on this one. I'm sorry.
That's fair. That's a fair point when you said I've carried teams to the finals with like little bums with me, so I deserve to behave in the manner in which I'm behaving. So I can respect it
in front of him.
Yeah. Hey, what hospital coming in? What?
I would have cussed him out and did that. I would have came back in with Ice Cube and the bat and the gloves. Y'all would have got these conference championships without me. I would have made the NBA finals without me. I would have Ice Cube the hell out of man. Y'all going crazy.
This nigga freaking David Ruff.
Y'all going crazy, bro.
Think about his spirit to see you, Haywood.
Can I also offer this? I think that his value is stronger in the East than it is in the West.
I was just gonna say that, Sheedy, because I'm
like, don't want to trade him to an Eastern Conference team, though. That's the thing.
If you're a West Conference team, it's like we getting Jimmy, but I still got to deal with Jokic and LeBron and the Rockets and OKC. Like I'm like, Jimmy, you cool, but this, which is why I said in the group chat, LBR group chat earlier. Mm-hmm. If I am the Charlotte Hornets, I know it's not this year. It's not for this year.
Next year.
But I need a cultural establishment right now from a player that won't be here for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I have pieces that I can give to the Miami Heat. I'm gonna hold on to LaMelo. I'm gonna hold on to B. Miller. But anybody else, we can phase them out. Add Jimmy to that equation. It's a team with no expectations, with no culture. They probably don't give a damn. They just want somebody that's gonna come in and excite the Charlotte Hornets fans. If I'm Charlotte, and this is the most random team I know, but if we come back to this moment in like past free agency, they need like a Pat Bev type, somebody to kind of move the needle for them. People want to joke about Pat Bev and how the Timberwolves made the play in and Pat Bev crying. I mean, Minnesota has been competitive since that moment. If we're being honest, Ant-Man was established, Cat got better. I mean, Gobert is there, but the culture was established in Minnesota to where they are. The standard is winning. The standard is competing. The Minnesota Timberwolves still got one of the best defenses in the NBA. Even though they're like in 7 or 8 spot right now, they still lock down on defense. That was established by Pat Bev. Like that kind of helped move it. I think Jimmy could help a young team do that. And if he can buy into that, if the team literally buys into him, then you have a chance to turn around the fortunes of your franchise. So if I'm Charlotte, I'm like, look, we need a veteran at some point. We got a bunch of kids here, man. Get somebody like Jimmy Butler on the team. And I'm sure Jimmy would like that being in the same division with the Miami Heat. I'm sure he would like that.
4 times.
They won't be better immediately, but at least you ain't in the basement of the damn Eastern Conference, which is like the worst place to be in general. Yeah. So
I think one more before we move on. Like I think Jimmy's taking the playbook out of the superstars before him. Like again, we've talked about on previous pods, but it's like the James Hardens, the KDs, the anybody you can say that's publicly come out and say, I want to play for a specific team. I think that's the big problem that Pat Riley got. And I think, again, he's going to find his way to whatever team he wants to get to eventually because this is a players' league and they eventually always do.
Mm.